Hi guys, this is Ian back with another video, and in this video I'm going to compare two IEMs. I'm going to compare the triple win OLINA and the Tin Hi-Fi T3 Plus. And previously I compared the OLINAs with the Titan S, and if you guys are interested to watch that comparison, do check out the link in the description below. And also if you guys are interested to watch the entire review of each IEM, the link is in the description as well. Alright, so just a quick disclaimer before I begin. This video is more for entertainment. It's not a conclusion of which one is better, and also is based on my listening experience, and it may be different from yours. Okay, now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to 3 songs on each IEM, and then I'll give them a score, and based on the score I'll decide which one I prefer. In this video, my goal is to help you guys make an informed decision if you are out in the market to look for an IEM and to buy one. So I am here to help you. So if you guys want to support me, I do have a Patreon page, which is also in the description. So if you guys want to support me, do consider to sign up so that I can continue to do more of this type of videos. Right, so before I begin, let's go through a short introduction of each IEM. For the OLINAs, it's currently retailing for $100 US. The impedance is 32 ohms. The frequency is 10 to 43,000 hertz, and the sensitivity is 110. As for the Tin Hi-Fi T3 Plus, it's retailing for about $75 US. The impedance is also 32 ohms. Frequency response is 10 to 20,000 hertz, and the sensitivity is 103. Right, so a very quick introduction of this. So let's begin the live audition. Now, I've already auditioned the OLINAs against the Titan S, so the score for the OLINAs will remain, whereas I'll give a new score for the T3 Plus. But I'll listen very briefly on the OLINAs so that it refresh my memory on how this sounds like. Okay, so let's begin. And let's go to the audition page. Right, so as you can see, the score of the OLINA is already there. So let's listen to the first song, which is the Queen, Don't Stop Me Now. Okay. OLINAs in the ears. Okay, so let's begin. First song, Don't Stop Me Now. And again, Freddie is forward, as I've heard before. The pianos is on the side, very clear. And treble wise, nice, bright, energetic. It's got a good soundstage and wide, layered, and it's got a deep soundstage. Yep, the bass is good. Rumble is extends really far, and I remember that the note weight that is pretty light, and the tone and the timbre of the OLINAs, they sound correct and real. Yep, the impact of the sub bass is there and natural. It sounds natural. Kick drums really sound natural. I really do like listening to the kick drums on these. Yep. Okay, so let's pause the song. All right, so I've listened to about 1 minute of this. Let's move on to the T3 Plus. All right, so T3 Plus. Let's put it in my ear. Okay, and the comfort on this and that seal, so good. Okay, so T3 Plus in the ears. Let's restart the song. Okay, so I find that Freddie is a bit more forward than the OLINAs. Pianos is nearer. Yeah, everything's themes a bit nearer to me. And the treble is not as bright as the OLINAs. So sub bass is not as rumbly as well. So let's give this a 3.5 for the mids, okay? And somehow somehow the piano sounds a little bit lighter on the note weight. And simple strikes don't sound as clear. So, and it's not as bright. It's not as bright as the OLINAs. Bass is surprisingly not as impactful. The rumble is good. Now, Soundstage. I find that the Soundstage is more intimate. Imaging is good. The layering is good. But it's not as wide and not as deep as the OLINAs. And the detail retrieval is just as good as the OLINAs. Nice. Okay. So let's pause the song. So I listen to this just a little bit more. Okay, so let's move on to the next song. Next song would be Memories by Kezia, right? And next up would be the OLINAs. Okay. See, the seal on this is you gotta get the right tip. Right, let's start. Memories by Kezia. Okay, so again, this is an instrumental song. I remember that the scratching of the violin is really clear, crystal clear, and the chime of the bells is also pretty clear. And violin is bright and forward. So I think, yeah, and the soundstage is wide as well. I can remember the layering of the primary violinist and the secondary violin in the background. Sound separation is really good. Imaging is good. And the tone and the timbre is correct. It's not a heavy note weight, but the tone and the timbre is good. The rumble for the sub bass is extended as well. Because the double bass it sounds good and extended as well. Okay, so good. So I have given the score already. Okay, for the OLINAs. Let's just swap out to the T3 Plus. Right, so T3 Plus right here. It's so easy to put the T3 Plus into the ear, you know, fits like a glove. All right, so let's restart the song and let's go. Memories by Kezia. Okay, so immediately that scratching of the violin is not as forward as the OLINAs. It's not as clear. So I think the resolution is not as good. Oh, but that thump and the impact, it sounds forward. I was wrong. This got a better bass, mid bass. Yeah, I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear that thump on the OLINAs, but I could hear it on the T3 Plus. Rumble is there. And there are finger snaps on this T3 Plus. I feel that it's not as clear. The resolution, 3.3, yeah. And treble wise, yeah, it's not as bright as the OLINAs. The Soundstage, it sounds more intimate. Sound separation is there, but it's a little bit intimate, closed in, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but it's still good. It's got good sound separation, good layering, and it's just that it's not as wide as the OLINAs. All right, so let's pause the song. Cool. Right, so let's move on to the next song, which is the last song, and that would be Always Be My Baby by Mariah Carey. Right, and let's swap out to the OLINAs just to refresh my memory. Right, let's begin. Mariah Carey, Always Be My Baby. Okay, so there's electric guitars in the opening, and there'll be this thump. Okay, so it's a very low rumble, and I remember that the rumble is it sounds very natural, very extended. And then when the mids come in, yep. Okay, so the mids is, it's okay. That impact of the mids, as I mentioned, it sounds a little bit light. But the sound stage on this, I remember, is really good. It's got this airy feel to it. Yeah. Okay, so I think I remember. Yeah. And Mariah sounds forward and bright, and it sparkles, you know, treble sparkles on this. Now let's move on to the T3 Plus. Let's put that in my ear. Okay, so gotta get a seal. All right, so let's reset the song Always Be My Baby by Mariah. Let's go. Okay, so the first opening piano didn't sound as bright, didn't sound as forward. Mariah didn't sound as forward as well. But the rumble is more, the impact is more. The rumble is the same, all right? It's like it's extended as well. Okay. Mariah doesn't sound as forward as I hear. So it doesn't sound as bright as well. And again, it sounds a bit more intimate for the soundstage. But the sound separation is good. You can hear that the shaker is on this side, Mariah is in the middle. The tapping of the cymbals is on this side. I would say Mariah is more intimate. Yeah, she sounds closer to me. And also the rest of the instruments also sounds closer to me. aka a smaller soundstage. Sorry about that. The detail retrieval, I think on this song is almost similar. Yeah, they sound pretty coherent, and it's not as bright. So Mariah doesn't sound as bright as the on the OLINAs, on these T3 Plus, but she doesn't sound harsh, which is a good thing. Okay, so that concludes my audition of these two IEMs, and let's take a look at the score, and then I'll just go through what I think. Okay, so in terms of sub bass, I think for sub bass I prefer the OLINAs. The extension of the sub bass, the tone and the timbre of the sub bass, it sounds more pleasing, more soothing to the ear, even though the T3 Plus has got a warmer sound, but I still prefer the one on the OLINA. The mid bass, okay, so mid bass, the T3 Plus is more impactful, and it gives a better response when the kick drum comes in. But the tone and the timbre, I would give it to the OLINAs. The kick drums, they sound more correct to me, I feel, but the impact, I would give it to the T3 Plus. This one has got less impact. It sounds lighter, and a little bit more recessed than the T3 Plus. The mids, I would give it to the OLINAs. Okay, they sound more forward. Vocals sound more forward. Instruments as well, they sound cleaner on the OLINAs. Okay, so yeah, mids I would give it to the OLINAs. For the treble, same thing, I would give it to the OLINAs. They sound brighter. They also have that sparkle there. The extension of the treble, I would say, is almost the same, and but the OLINAs, they do have that harshness there, whereas the T3 Plus does not have. Okay, soundstage, right? Soundstage, I'll give it to the OLINAs, right? It's got a better soundstage, wider, deeper. Sound separation is the same, and the imaging is the same on these two. The detail retrieval and resolution, I will give it to the OLINAs as well. It just sounds a little bit cleaner on the OLINAs than the T3 Plus. Okay, so that's my conclusion. Overall, I prefer the OLINAs to the T3 Plus. Yep, that's it. So it's a close call. It's a pretty close call, and you know, I need to listen really carefully on these two IEMs to decide which one I prefer more. And yeah, the OLINAs is the one that I prefer more. Right, so that's it for my comparison of these two IEMs. Again, if I helped you guys in making a decision, or if you enjoyed yourself watching this video, do consider to subscribe to my channel, and also sign up for my Patreon if you want to support me so that I can do more of this type of videos. And also do consider to give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Right, so that's it for this comparison. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next comparison video. Cheers.